Hello everyone, Jared here, and as you may be able to tell, I finally got a haircut, and it's wonderful. But anyways, what I'm going to do in today's video is put a little bit of my father's experience together for you of going around in Nanjing, because I wasn't really able to do anything as I was stuck in the hotel room because I was sick. So, I hope you enjoy what you see. Nanjing is a city that's famous for a whole lot of historical reasons, as well as a bunch of tourist attractions, including, but not limited to, the Sun Yat-sen Memorial. Also, it has a bunch of temples, the famous Confucius Temple, mausoleums from the Ming Dynasty, but most of these places are not what we ended up seeing. We were only going to be in Nanjing for 2 days, and I already knew that that wasn't going to be enough time. However, I really wasn't expecting what happened to actually come to pass. We took the high-speed rail from Shanghai's western station, passing by a seemingly endless stream of cities, and it took over a couple of hours for us to reach Nanjing's North Railway Station.
We've just arrived at the Nanjing station. I still have a fever. Hopefully I'll be over it tomorrow so we're able to see a lot in Nanjing, but it's going to be a rush.
It was only about a 15-minute drive from the train station to our hotel, where ultimately, once we checked in, I just stayed in the room, eating, drinking, and sleeping most of the day. My father, on the other hand, I asked him to head on down the road near us that would eventually lead to a temple, and that's what he proceeded to do, although he did get a little sidetracked and go into this park. Heping Gongyuan, or the Peace Park, really was similar to its namesake. Very calm and pristine, and relatively quiet, aside from the cicadas. The only other people in the park appeared to be elderly individuals who would be sitting around talking, playing games, such as Chinese chess, as well as this one particular area where some people like to sing and play instruments. After a little bit more time spent wandering around the streets and coming across unexpected places, like the Nanjing Institute of Geology and Paleontology, Chinese Academy of Science, he eventually found his way over to the temple. This temple, Jiming Temple, is one of the oldest remaining temples still in Nanjing, and once you climb up the steps, after paying a very small fee, you're given some prayer sticks, and then you proceed to climb up the temple all the way to the top, with various shrines that make for great shots along the way. And although the scenery is nice along the way, the English could use a little bit of work here though in the signage, however. Now, for a little bit of background about Jiming Temple. It was originally built in the Ming Dynasty around 1387, and what's really impressive about this is that most buildings in China, such as temples and monasteries, weren't able to make it through lots of events such as the Cultural Revolution that pretty much wiped away a lot of these places of historical significance. This temple is also the first time that we'd ever encountered that someone could apparently pray via app. I didn't know that this was the kind of technology people were using in temples nowadays. Perhaps one of the most surprising things to learn about the temple was the fact that a majority of the monks, if not all of them, happened to be women. My father wouldn't really recommend that you try to reach the temple the same way that he came here, because by the time he got to the top, he was feeling rather exhausted.
As you can tell, you really have to want to come up to the top of the temple. It's a nice little climb.
There's a legend about Jiming Temple and how it came to be here. There once was a fierce demonic centipede that lived on the hill where the temple now stands. It used to spout out powerful poisonous fire, and so heaven sent down a golden rooster to deal with the centipede, which was scared by its roar, and then the centipede escaped. But after a quick chase, the golden rooster was able to take down the centipede, kill it, and the rooster was poisoned at the same time, which ended up killing it. From then on, people called the temple Jiming Temple, which means the crow of the rooster. After looking around at the top floor of the temple, my father then proceeded to look for a way to get down over to the city wall, overlooking Xuanwu Lake, which happens to be another one of the old city's attractions.
Okay, I'm at the back side of the temple, at the very top. And I think it's walking me down to the wall now.
It does lead to the wall, but that's not where he ended up going.
Below the balcony now. Who knows what I'm on? Apparently, I'm not to the wall yet. What's going on over there? Alright, I think I'm going the wrong way. I'll try to get to the other side. I've been walking down, 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 down. Now I'm somehow below the wall, but didn't hit the wall. There's those rings again. The temple was up there, kind of a backside view of it, and the wall to the right. I've been climbing up this way from the start. Who knows where I'm going? Very pleasant if you're not tired from walking a couple of miles and climbing countless steps to get to this point. Whew. The never-ending path. All right, here's another part of the wall. I think it's getting higher if it's possible. Way up there, I can tell there's a little lookout. I brave on. Okay, I'm up against the wall. Okay, I'll go this way and hope it gets me onto the wall. Well, as you can tell, I must be getting closer to getting on or something. It's not nearly as high right here. Okay, I'm totally confused.
And he has a good reason to be confused. Because if you look at this map of the area we were in Nanjing, this is the road that he took, and as I zoom in here, you can actually see where the temple is. Now, up north of the temple is where the city wall goes along the lakeside. And if you zoom in a little more, you can actually see a little better where the path is that leads up to the wall. Rather than going up this path to the north, that would have taken him up on the wall, he went to the right here. And as you go along to the right more and more and more, you can see this path never actually connects to the wall and goes up into a park instead. So this ended up being a very long walk of him trying to get there without actually being able to get there at all.
Oh no, not another set of stairs and a climb. Who knows what's the way through there. I'm just going to keep going up for the moment. I think I'm going up there. Am I in Nanjing or am I moving towards Tibet? Who knows what? Wait a second. They don't want to do that to me. No! Now I'm higher than the wall. That's down there. And then there's the lookout, which is up there. Okay. I'm doing the lookout. I'm not doing the wall. So here I go. 142, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and collapse. So, okay, that's the third. And the landslide stopped the climb. All right, whose practical joke was this? Oh, now I see a sign here. Apparently they want you to take care of people who are dropping. Another path kind of working its way up around the collapsed one. But do I know where it is? No, I don't. By the way, it's 95% humidity. Again, fortunately, the sun is hiding. My, oh my. Okay, that's what I've been climbing up towards. No English out here whatsoever. So, your guess is as good as mine. Hey, a path down. Okay, time to kill the knees. I'll see where all this goes. Doesn't this trip to hell ever end? Of course, I have no idea where in the world I am. I will continue to walk down the mountain, and hopefully I will eventually end up at any old street. I'll take it. That's it. I just turned around, and to my back was the sign Metro, 250 meters. Yay, team! I'm not sure, but that may be way down there, the hotel. Yay! Well, if your feet are gonna hurt this much, you better have seen some interesting things. And my feet hurt a bunch.
Eventually, after making it back to the hotel, he told me about his time getting lost and wandering on the path for what seemed like ages, before we eventually decided it was time to go and have dinner.
Day one in Nanjing, I did nothing except stay in the hotel room. You can probably hear my voice that I'm quite sick, and hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow and finally able to do stuff. But right now, the first thing I'm doing in Nanjing is eating my first meal here.
And there it is, our meal of daikon with tangsu lychee, also known as sweet and sour pork, as well as a cucumber garlic dish, which turned out to be rather satisfying. And after we left the restaurant, we gathered a few snacks and drinks for our hotel room before we returned to the hotel and rested for day 2 of Nanjing. Breakfast the next day was pretty special though, because over at the breakfast buffet, one of the things that they had was this yogurt. And because I wasn't really feeling any better this day, we ended up taking a drive in the taxi over to a university hospital, which in this case happened to be Jiangsu Province Hospital. This was my first and very long line of hospitals that we would end up visiting on this trip around China in the summer. And so each time I visited a hospital, we ended up having to learn about different circumstances, what it's like going around a hospital in China, and we were actually surprised with how quickly this ended up being. So we ended up heading out of the hospital with medicine after about an hour, and then I went back and rested in the hotel while I sent my father out again to take the subway over to the Nanjing Museum, which is supposed to be one of the best museums in all of China. However, one thing that we didn't realize was that the museum was going to be closed, even though it was a Monday. Unlike in the US, museums in China, we learned, are closed on Mondays generally. This one closed at lunchtime, which happened to be when he got there. So rather than doing anything else, he decided that he had it and came back to the hotel. So as you can tell, our Nanjing trip did not end up being quite as fruitful as we were hoping it would be in just a couple of days that we had there. Although we had some decent food, and we could tell that there was a lot to do, we had already pre-planned our trip, and we didn't have much time to do anything else while we were there, unfortunately. I will just have to try to go back there another time, if I can. I wish I had more to say about Nanjing, but that's really it for this one. I hope you stay with us as we journey to our next city, Luoyang. Thank you again for watching this video. Please comment down below what you thought about this video. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel, and look forward to seeing future videos.